Hi everyone, today I will present you HCM, Hybrid Cloud Management Suite. For this demo, I will be a Q&A engineer from the testing team. I need to reproduce an issue as quickly as possible. For that, I will connect to my self-service portal from the IT, and I will provision on the fly my hybrid two-tier application I need to test. For that, as I said, I connect to my self-service portal using my account, Michael, or I can directly use, the single sign-on SSO provided by my IT. I will be able to see a dynamic dashboard showing me my services, my requests, notification, and so on, as well as dynamic custom widgets created by the IT. For example, the resources available on VMware, Amazon, Microsoft Azure, or SAP. I will be able to browse the catalog to see the different, services offered by the IT. And we do have RBAC, role-based access control, to publish only the required offering to the right user or groups. I will be able to browse by category and see application services, database services, hybrid cloud services, and so on and so forth. It could be something very simple as IaaS for infrastructure as a service on VMware, Hyper-V or KVM, or it could be on public cloud if I want to provision on the fly different kind of services on EC2, Azure, Google, or any other public cloud provider. Or it could be something more complex, like an hybrid cloud service. And in this scenario, we will provision an hybrid two-tier. One tier will be the backend. It will be on Oracle, on the fly, on my VMware. I want to keep my data safe. And the second tier will be on Microsoft Azure, my public cloud. It's a G2EE application with a GBoss and my pet clinic application. As you can see on the screen, we can see an initial cost and recurring cost you can expose to the end user. As the end user Q&A, I will just have to click on my offering and I will be able to select the different inputs required to provision on the fly the service. All you will see is completely customizable, so you can decide what you want to offer as an input for your end user. It could be something very technical or something very simple like functional input. As an end user, I will be able to select where I would like to source provision my front end. It could be on my OpenStack, silo, or it could be on my vCenter, and I want to choose from a dynamic list what kind of application I want to deploy, Pet Clinic build V1 or Pet Clinic build V2. Or it could be directly on Azure from the public cloud, and I could select this time the sizing, the t-shirt size, small, medium, and what kind of version I would like to deploy. Let's say I would like to deploy Pet Clinic, an application running on top of GBoss. And for that, I will leverage Chef Server for config management in order to deploy on the fly the GBoss middleware and then the Pet Clinic build on top of that. Then I need to select my backend. Okay, we said Oracle on-prem, but Oracle on-prem requires some specification. Maybe this time I don't want to specify small, medium, large, but have the granularity to say I want 2 vCPU, 4 vCPU, and the memory size like 2 gig, 4 gig. Then, as it's a database, maybe I would like to monitor this database and be inside a policy. For example, the silver policy or the premium auto-flexing policy. Depending on my choice, it will automatically register into my monitoring server and apply the right policy. Then we can decide the backup strategy. It could, on the fly, be integrated inside, for example, Data Protector or Net Backup, and with the right policy to save the system table space, for example, weekly, monthly, and so on. Then I can decide if I want to add more disk on the fly or just the basic standard disk. I can also select the network if I want to specify which VLAN is required. I can also create this VLAN on the fly inside the routers if I need to expose this port. I just have to click on checkout, specify a name, hybrid 2-tier Oracle backend, and a list. Maybe I just need now, or maybe I need it in the future, starting Monday, and I can specify an end date. And all of this could be forced by the admin if we want to make sure that there is it's not a recurring subscription, but a term subscription with an end date. Let's submit the request, and that's all I need to do as an end user. I just have to submit the request and wait for the service to be completely fulfilled by the IT. If I'm going now to my services, all right, let's connect to my service. I can see my service as active, and I can see the two tier. One tier on Microsoft Azure, the front end, and the back end on VMware vSphere. Each tier has different kind of subscription properties, and you can expose what you need to the end user. If I take a look to the Microsoft Azure and I connect to Azure portal, I can see my VM just here, 37B, and I can see the VM is currently active. So the orchestrator deploy on the fly this instance inside Azure. And then Chef, the config management, registered this VM 37B, installed the agent, and deployed on the fly the JBoss middleware and then the Pet Clinic application. If I connect to Chef and look at the cookbook, I can see that we have a cookbook which installs the JBoss application and then deploy my Pet Clinic application on the fly. If I go back now to Azure and I click on the application, I will be able to see that the application has been deployed, and we can see Pet Clinic up and running online. I can also see my service has been monitored automatically with the right policy. If I connect to Sitescope, I can see that my server is registered with the right KPI to monitor. It could be Sitescope or any other monitoring tool such as Zabbix, for example. Let's go back now to my service and look for the Oracle tier. And I can see the name of the hostname generated on the fly for this server. The orchestrator automatically deployed a template from vCenter in order to deploy the operating system. So we can see 292, the same VM. It customized the virtual machine depending on the spec and deployed on top of it using DCA, data center automation, the Oracle server required. So we can see it's automatically registered inside DCA in order to deploy Oracle on top of this VM. So if I'm going right now to the Windows services, I will be able to see my Oracle service, as we can see just here. Going back to my service, I can see that Oracle Enterprise Manager has also been deployed on the fly. If I go to my server tablespace, I will be able to see all the tablespace for this DB. We cannot the system tablespace with the current size of the VM 680. I can also open the console, which is completely native inside HCM, if I want, for example, to access to the server as an end user. On the fly, the password could be generated and sent to the end user, and I will be able to access exactly the same, tablespace like the system tablespace and see all my Oracle service up and running. As an end user, I can also see how healthy is my VM on VMware, and I can click on View Health Details if I want to see the graph for CPU, memory, and so on. I can see the memory write is well sized, but the CPU is oversized. If I click on Show Performance Graph, I will be able to see the recommendation from the capacity planning capability, and I can see that the recommendation is to downgrade the CPU to 1. I can also see the usage trends for CPU, memory, and disk with the alert associated from the vCenter server. I can also see the service topology associated from my design as an end user, and I can see that I have a two-tier service. And in green, I can see Oracle and my G2EE application deployed on Microsoft Azure. Last but not least, we can also provision on the fly inside your IT service management tool the right change and CI in order to make sure the service is completely tracked in the IT. For example, let's say it's ServiceNow, the orchestrator will on the fly create the change, wait for the approval, and move the change through the different phases. Let's see what happened behind the scene. If I go to changes, I can see a new changes created by HCM, Hybrid Cloud Management Suite, and we can see the hybrid two-tier Oracle and backend service created. If I drill down inside this, service, I can see the priority, the risk, the impact, and also the description, and we can retrieve all the subscription properties like the host name for Microsoft Azure or the one for VMware in order to know and track the description. We can also see the justification, the implementation plan, and so on and so forth. This change has been approved and then scheduled and implemented by the orchestrator automatically. So we move the change in order to close the change because at the end it was successful as a change. If it failed, then we just have to create an incident to make